Hi all, welcome to the Matchbook Horse Racing podcast. We're a week out from York, so keep an eye out for the big race previews we're going to be doing next week. We'll have a couple of podcasts coming your way. Off the top of my head, likely one on Tuesday, possibly one on Thursday as well. But just keep an eye out for those because we'll have two previews for you next week. This is, decent punting fare, to be honest, in particular the Ripon races. A bit lower on quality, but as you would expect, naturally. Joined by Ed Quigley, who's caption is hashtag not long now for obvious reasons. We want suggestions for Charlie Post captions. So if you're listening or watching, however you're watching, just suggest anything you like. He's a pretty understated kind of guy, so we couldn't think of anything off the bat. Obviously his wife Fran is far more successful than him, so we were going to put something about that, but then we felt that was mean to him. So he also used to ride horses really well. In fact, your last ride was a smash, wasn't it, Charlie? A real success that you were telling me about the other day.
Well, it wasn't the last one, but
it wasn't the last one. It wasn't great. Okay, well there we are. Any suggestions welcome for Charlie's caption. You won't win a free bet. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy all of our content. It makes it easier for you to digest it however you do so. And a little shout out to us for a really good week last week. We had a team steam going at 15.0, I think, including a couple of best bets. So it was a decent week last week, even though it was pretty quiet again, quality wise. Right. Oh, the Premier League's back as well. It's back tonight. United are playing tonight. There are two pods currently out, the outright markets and also game week 1. So there's a team of experts on there hosted by Dan Hussey, who's also an expert. So get stuck into that because the Premier League, quite unbelievably, is back. 150 at Newbury is the Jeffrey Freer. I'm sitting this out. I feel like LRC will probably is going to go and win, particularly given he proved himself on quick ground last time. But Charlie Post, you're with GoDaddy.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I look, especially at Newbury, I think Alassi is a right favourite, and he's probably, if you like him, he's probably not ridiculously short either. But I just thought GoDaddy was interesting. He gets a chunk of weight as a 3-year-old. He's a progressive horse with plenty of ability. Ran well behind King's Gambit at the track earlier in the year, and then ran a stormer being third behind Going the Distance at Royal Ascot, where he stayed on very well from a dropped-in position. Back that up with a solid second at Clairefontaine, the listed race last time out. I think this trip, the mile 5.5, should suit him well. I think back at this track is a plus, and I just thought at 7.0, I'd prefer him to Al Kareem. And so if Al Assi does have an off day, which he can do now and again, I thought he was the most likely one to capitalize.
He's about 1.9 LRC. Ed, who do you like?
Yeah, I mean, the market is suggesting LRC has perhaps a little bit more in hand than official figures do. I know our resident podcaster, Steve Jones, gets really tetchy when I start mentioning official figures in pattern races, but they're a good barometer as a guide to a horse's ability than anything we've got. And Alazi only on figures has £2, is £2 clear of the field and has to carry upwards of a £3 penalty to the rest of them. So it's actually got a bit more on his plate than I think the market is leading you to believe here. And I thought Sumo Sam was fascinating. A filly who officially comes out better at the weights than Alazi. And look, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt that the last couple of runs have been deplorable. I mean, she's failed to beat a rival home. However, the form last summer was pretty mustard, including when we're landing that, a couple of Group 2s, but including that emphatic one at the Glorious Goodwood meeting. She's had the wind up. As I said, on these figures, she hasn't got all that much to find. Officially, hasn't got anything to find. If she's back on song, Tom Marcon could be on a good one here. So, yeah, I kind of in part agree with Charlie. I think Alazi brings the most consistent profile to the table, but this is a deeper race than perhaps the market is giving the rest of the horses credit for.
Moving on to the Grey Horse Handicap. We're going in ITV running order, quite simply. There are 3 tracks. This is the only Newmarket race. It's the Grey Horse Handicap, the 205 at Newmarket. First folio heads the market at 4.5, fine interview 5.5, 6.0 strike. Only one horse going up, and it's a 13.0 shot, Charlie Post.
Yeah, I'm like you, Tom. I love this race. It's a real sort of like spectacle, isn't it? As in every year, I know how much you look forward to it. I can see it in your face right now. You'll be glued to the TV at 2:05.
I'll watch it. I'll enjoy it. I just think it's a bit weird. I can't. I just think it's really weird.
It's my mum. It's my mum's second favourite race outside the Grand National. That's
There
not a lie.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
It's the only race she tunes in for, and then she'll wait until entry. That'll be it.
Moving swiftly along.
She's a purist, isn't she? Proper purist. Right, go on. Who do we like? Who do we like, Charlie?
Oh, it's Duke Ferdinand for me. 13.0. You know, he ran a load of consistent races since he won just over a year ago. Ran well over a mile on his penultimate start, and then backed that up with a solid run over 6 at York. I thought this slightly stiffer finishing track would suit him better. He's got some cheek pieces on, I think, for the first time, and they've enlisted Alex Jari, a £5 claimer, to take him back down below, I think back down to his last winning mark. And yeah, I thought at 13.0, you can back him winning place. It's not a high quality contest. And yeah, that price, I thought he was really interesting.
I was just checking whether they still have the brown bay horse only handicap. They did used to have one for non-greys on the Friday, but I think they've got rid of it. But they did used to. There you go. But I think the last now is open to any horse. So anyway, see, this is the problem. Talking utter shite because they got this stupid race. Right, 225, 5 furlong handicap. Newbury, decent little race this as well. Ed and I agree on the big board. I can't remember why, Ed, so I'm going to get the race up and you can make the case.
Yeah, neither can I really, to be honest. I thought the twofold really. I thought the drop back to 5 seemed to work last time I added Ascot. I think that was the key point. Was far too keen over 6 previously to that and started to become quite frustrating. But strongly run 5 seemed to really suit last time. Yes, that was a career low mark and has to cope with a little nudge up in the weights. But I do think perhaps this horse has turned a corner. This triple suit, this ground will suit. I said, still on the form of, you're going back to last autumn. Is floating almost a stone below that type of rating. So, the big board has been frustrating this filly. But I just thought the signs there were last time out that a win's not far away.
Yeah, it was the Ascot run for me. I was pretty taken with that. I thought dropping back to 5 really suited. I guess I can see why they've been campaigning her over 6 prior to that, because she does look though she wants a test at 5. She's over 5 here, and she's obviously against the boys as well. But I thought she shaped with a load of promise there. Bit of pace on here, most likely winner. Not a strong shout though. I got stronger on the day, Charlie.
Yeah, she's a well handicapped horse, the big board as well. I've gone for another one that I think is well handicapped in Myconian for the Amy Murphy team. Holly Doyle up. She was was a listed winning juvenile who started this year rated 99, now down £15 to 84. And I think just the last couple of starts, there was a little bit of promise coming through. Hamilton was 4th, and then last time at Newmarket was 2nd, and sort of led them until about the last 100 yards where giving best to Rockin' Ends. It just looks like a horse that's about ready to kind of go in again. And I just thought it was a real positive. Holly Doyle, who rode for the first time last time out and seemed to get a good tune out of Myconian, retains the ride tomorrow.
Winning place at 11.0. The Silver Trophy at Ripon. It has 18 in it. I always want something. I'm not too worried about which side per se, but definitely something on the speed for me. That's why I thought Rave On was I mean, at the top of the betting is 7.0 the field, but I don't know whether this will definitely suit. I like Danzan. Danzan's run 3 times at the track before with excuses a few times. Ran really well here on first start. That was in August 2021. And then back in September of last year was slowly away. Not always the case with him, and ended up going the wrong side. Only 2 in that group. And then subsequent to that, ran pretty well here in April, went 3rd of 13 off a mark of 77. Now lines up off 72. Will be on the speed, and is I think 13.0. So I thought had a fair chance. Danzan, one of my stronger shouts on the day. Ed, who do you like?
Yeah, I'm going to side with last year's winner. I thought wasn't a million one to get back involved again and get involved again. Roundhay Park here would be the selection. A little bit in the doldrums in recent times, but again, as I say, won it last year. and it's dropped to feasible mark. Got the job done 12 months ago off 79. Gets in here £3 lower this time round. So you'd imagine this has been the target forever. I was looking at the draw the ground went soft last year and there was no kind of obvious bias. They were scattered all over the track, and Roundhay Park actually kind of came down the centre and mugged them on both sides. So, I'm not going to be getting too worked up about draw biases from 14 of 18. To be honest with you, I just think Roundhay Park, as I say, arrives in the form 12 months ago, is undeniably very well handicapped and very much enjoys this venue. I suppose if I was going to put a slight caveat, they are calling the ground good at Ripon. I'm actually up at the in-laws in York at the moment, and all I've seen is rain for the last 2 days. So I'm hoping it's good asterisks with plenty of give underground. I wouldn't be surprised if there is plenty of juice in the ground at Ripon, because it has been absolutely teeming it down up here, and that would only enhance the claims of Roundhay Park if that's the case.
Charlie.
Yeah, I think a bit like Ed, I was working on sort of the ground probably ending up on the slow side of good. And again, like you, Tom, I wasn't fussed about which side, but I wanted a horse that was near a side and not up the middle. I've gone with Origin Trail for the Ben Haslam team. Callum Rodriguez rides for the first time. She hasn't won for a long time, but again, has run plenty of good races, and she loves this venue. I think 6 starts and it's only once she's been out of the first 3. She responded well to cheek pieces and the first time cheek piece and a tongue tie last time at Ripon when she was beat a length and a half by Je ne sais quoi, staying on well, coming out of the pack. So the step back up to 6, which is where she's done the majority of her winning over, again, I thought was a plus. And drawn in 4, I thought, of course, with the fact that she's found winning tough, whether she's an out-and-out likely winner, but at 17.0, he can play a win and place. And I thought she was nailed on to run very well.
Moving on to an open-looking 7 furlong contest at Newbury, 13 in it. This is the 3 o'clock. Ed, back to you. Who do you like and why?
Yeah, I really like Walifi here. Pretty keen on this individual's chances. Like the race, as the almost, I say strange record, but it's been sent off favourite in every single career start so far. And after the first 3, when punters are getting their fingers burnt, you started to worry. But the tongue tie went on for the first time at Newmarket back in June and has just taken off, really. And then when you dovetail that with the step back up to 7 last time out at Doncaster, I thought it was a really smart performance, really well backed again on the day. Obviously a horse who carries a lot of height, but travelled well from the rear of the field, sluiced through the rivals and fairly bolted up. Now, yeah, the assessors had their say, £8 hike in the weights, but William Haggis' team on fire. They're operating at around 35% for August. I'd be surprised if we've seen the ceiling of this horse's ability. I think they figured him out. I think 7 on quick ground's perfect for him. And yeah, I think he can follow up the success from last time out.
I'm going to go back in once more on Streets of Gold, top weight in this. This is easier than he's been contesting bar Chepstow last time, where he ran really well. It's still a class 2 with similar sort of prize money on the line. In fact, there was more on the line last time. That was the race won by Carry the One. It was the Racing League race, who I think is a really well treated horse. I think that's really strong form. He lines up here off the same mark. He was running at Newmarket. I don't think that's his track. Then he's been better at Ascot. All right, then he ran in the Hunt Cup. That was always going to be a bit tricky. But 7 and I think a mile stretches him. 7 furlongs, 13.0. He can definitely go close off this sort of mark. I'm sure of it. Streets of Gold. Charlie?
I mean, like Ed, I think Walifi is very solid. I mean, and definitely we're not seeing the ceiling of him. I just personally thought maybe after Doncaster, they might have gone up in trip a little bit more, which sort of tempered my enthusiasm with the £8 rise. Zabriskie Point for me for the Charlie Hills team. You know, he's only had the 2 starts this year. Was tried in a group race of Somerville Stakes on his last run as a 2-year-old and was then gelded subsequently over the winter. Ran well at Newmarket on his first start back over 6 and was made all that day, weekend out of it, finished 7th, beat 3 lengths, and then ran an eye-catching race at Goodwood over 7 on his latest start. Completely different tactics, dropped out, presumed because of the wide draw. And look, he travelled into it well, but he was never going to be close enough behind Witness Stand to get involved seriously. I mean, I think you do sometimes have to take the Goodwood things like that where they're flattered with a pinch of salt. But I just thought after 2 starts this year, he's come down 4. Surely there's more to come from him. And I thought back on this more conventional track at Newbury, he was interesting. You'd think 3rd run back after being gelded, and as a 3-year-old, we should be seeing him getting close towards peak form.
Then we move back to the Great St Wilfrid, back to Ripon, I should say. So this is a 320. Summergand is 8.0. Obviously ran a belter last year, but I don't know whether he's the perfect horse for this track. Anyway, rather than take you through all the prices, I will kick off with a strongish fancy, which is Radio Gugu. Again, a horse that wants to be on the speed. Not too worried about the draw. Happens to be in 7, but I do want horses on the pace. I liked the run at Chepstow last time behind Manila Scouse. That was obviously over 5. I think ultimately the horse wants 6 furlongs. The last time Dylan Hogan was on board, he led and won. He's a course and distance winner from the front, and is pretty lightly raced. I think this is his only start here. He was a winner, and he's 13.0. So I thought I was really fair. But very, very keen to have a go at Radio Gugu, and the Yard have had a good couple of weeks as well. Ed.
Again, look, you can make a case, can't you, for quite a few here. Mr. Wagyu, 2 times course and distance winner, has been frustrating in recent times, but handicap mark has eased accordingly. It's now actually 2 years since the last time Mr. Wagyu won, but that was when Stormy home at the Curragh off 100. Races here off 90, so that can't be sniffed at. And as I said, has some very good form at this track, likes to race on the front end, always up in the van, so I don't see that as a problem. As you say, that's probably going to help at this venue. Never really got involved in the Stewards Cup last time out, has to be said. You could probably put a line through that run. I say back here, this is much more Mr. Wagyu's happy hunting ground. So, yeah, again, looks well handicapped on old form, good course form, versatile ground-wise, and I'm not worried about being drawn still 19 of 19. Might try and blaze the trail from the front against the rail.
Charlie.
Yeah, I thought Mr. Wagyu was interesting. But for wob for me. Drawn that side as well in 15. Has plenty of toe when on a going day, and again likes a bit of dig in the ground. Loves big field handicaps. Was 3rd in this last year, 1st in his group, leading his side, and then before taking out the Air Silver Cup, he won at Thirsk earlier on this year off £2 lower. But I think the mark of 89 is workable. And again, at Goodwood over 7 on his latest start, he just hinted at a return to form and beat 2.5 lengths by Blueprints. Again, has no issue with the track at Ripon, and like I say, just loves these big field races. And Adrian Keithley, I think, is a really shrewd operator.
Last race we're going to look at is the Hungerford over 7 furlongs. English Oak is in there right at the top of the betting, off the back of I suppose a slightly disappointing run up in grade last time in the Lennox, but, a lot of horses disappointed in that. He is 3.75. Kikuli is 4.0. Time of Flow is 5.5. Witch Hunter 6.0. Bigger prices thereafter. We're all with Kikuli, which is quite worrying. I took the view that the Jersey run is probably the most solid bit of form in there. He's a bit disappointing at Deauville last time. I don't know if it was because there was a bit of cut in the ground. I mean, it was a Group 1, so maybe that was it. And he was sent off bang at the top of the betting. He's a half brother to Frankel, so he's obviously going to always create a bit of attention. But I'm a huge fan. I saw him at Sandown, where I thought he just looked fabulous. He really is a horse that takes the eye, and maybe it's more sort of hope than expectation, Ed, for me, that he can live up to this. But I would rather back him than English Oak, he didn't convince me last time. I know the audience was far too good, but yeah, Kikuli it's slightly tepid, but I'm siding with him. Why are you?
Yeah, it's the team steam, isn't it, this week? I think Kikuli. I don't know why you're being negative, Tom. We're 14.0 or 15.0 team steam last week, so this should be straightforward, shouldn't it? Now, I thought Kikuli, that Deauville run didn't go to plan. There was a bit of juice in the ground, etc. Whether that you can use that as an excuse, I don't know. But horse just didn't look himself, albeit in a Group 1. Hindsight may probably suggest it wasn't the worst run in the world, actually, to be beaten 4 lengths in that. And I think previously and looked pretty good. That Sandown run, I thought he was perhaps running on fumes a little bit at the end of the stiff Marlet Sandown in that Lister race on soft. So I can see why they've come back to 7, and I wholeheartedly agree. The Jersey Stakes form, if there's anything in the field here, getting within a short head of Hatton, they deserve to be going very close, don't they? So, yeah, I think Kikuli, this is kind of, I would say, last chance saloon for him, but everything is in place for the big run. 7 furlongs on the drying ground, officially down in grade. And I agree with you, English Oak, yes. You can use the excuse that was a horse running up in grade, but I thought it was a very lackluster run from English Oak at the Glorious Goodwood meeting. Whereas I didn't actually think Kikuli ran all that bad in his group one in comparison. So, yep. Obviously, Jumby's my old friend who ran well in the long shot last week, but I think on the figures here has got it all to do. So, no, I think by process of elimination, I'm coming around to Kikuli, and I think we'll see that potential realised, Tom.
Charlie.
Yeah, not a lot to add with what you guys. I completely agree. I think the Jersey Stakes run is the strongest form. I think Hattem's a very, very good horse, and he did really well to get that close. The last run was the Jean Prat is a Group 1. I think the ground was probably softer than ideal, and I agree with that. 7 furlongs, flat track like Newbury. I think it's perfect for him, and he's only had 5 starts as well. There's no reason to think he shouldn't still be improving. And as a 3-year-old, he gets the weight for age as well. So yeah, Kikuli, I thought was a strong shout in this.
One other bet on the day that comes from Ed, and it's at Market Racing on Saturday, the 650. Who are you with?
Yeah,
Ed?
just the Twilight meeting. Harry Durham's The Mystic Man. I thought was potentially well treated off 98. They dropped back to 2 miles 2 starts ago. Horse was absolutely taken off his feet. Stepped back up to 2.5 at Stratford last time out, and that was much more like it. I think this kind of intermediate trip here is going to be absolutely spot on. The extended 2 miles 5, and with Ben Bromley on board claiming 5. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Mystic Man ran a big race.
And then we move on to Matchbook Zero long shot. Don't forget, Matchbook Zero goes live 10 a.m. each day. If you like a win bet, which is all you can have on Matchbook Zero, it's well worth having it there because your chance of getting best odds are way further enhanced because there's no margin and no commission. And you're likely to with an exchange anyway, but no commission, no margin on Matchbook Zero. Mine's Radio Gugu in the Great St. Wilfrid, 13.0. Charlie?
Archduke Ferdinand in the 205 at Newmarket.
Great race. Ed?
Mr. Wagyu at 320, the Great St. Wilfrid, 320 Ripon.
And best bets? Again, mine's Radio Gugu in the Great St. Wilfrid. Really like his horse's chances for Dave Evans. Charlie?
Kikuli in the Hungerford at Newbury.
Ed?
Waleefi, 3 o'clock at Newbury.
Tremendous. Well done, everyone. That is a swift podcast previewing the weekend action. We will be back with you Tuesday for days 1 and 2 of York. Haven't confirmed that with the producer yet, but that's got to be the plan, right? See you Tuesday. Bye.